Hi everyone, I'm Matt Gaschk with SoundersFC.com here alongside the voice of the Sounders, Arlo White, at the Home Depot Center in Carson, California, where the LA Galaxy showed why they're the top team in the league in a 3-1 win over the Sounders, right?
And they are the best team in the league by a comfortable margin at the moment, Matt, I think. And the first half really demonstrated exactly why. With Donovan and Buddle back in the team, they were running a bit of a mock early on, and the Sounders were in a little bit of disarray. They hit the post early through Michael Stevens, didn't they? And there was a little bit of panic at the back, and also in midfield areas. There seemed to be so much space for the Galaxy players. And then they took the lead. It was a great header by Buddle. My first instinct was that Omar Gonzalez had headed it in, but he was sort of flying backwards, Buddle. Didn't really skip a beat, did he, having been away at the World Cup finals? And it was another assist, a 10th assist by Donovan. And at that point, you really worried for the Sounders at the Home Depot Centre on July the 4th with a party atmosphere, and really were under the cosh. But I thought the second half was a lot better. There was a hammer blow to concede that spectacular goal by Juninho, but then the changes were made, and I thought things improved a bit.
See Nate Jakwa back in the lineup. How much different is this team when he's in there? How much more offensive, how much more attacking can they be with him in the lineup?
Well, I think it makes a big difference, and I know he's touted as a big man who wins balls in the air, and I suppose, what is he, 6'4"? I guess he's always going to be labelled with that. It's the same as any team that Peter Crouch plays in, or if you remember Duncan Ferguson, who was a big Scottish tall hitman for Everton. The temptation is to feed long balls in all the time, but Jake has actually got a lot more to his game than that, and that's good news for Freddie Montero, because he's got such good feet, Jake, where he can release people. But it's also better news for people like Michael Seaman, who came into the game, because he's a rookie. I spoke to Ziggy this morning. He's reluctant to start him yet because he's only a month out of Villanova University. You know, he is a rookie, and he didn't even start at the start of the season. So he is really finding his feet as a professional footballer at the moment. But from what we've seen, it's been very good, because he likes to break forward. So if he can make forward runs, as they did in Portland, where he laid it into Jakwa, got the ball back, fed it wide to Montaño, across to Nyasi, and then Jakwa had the header. That's the sort of move that Jakwa makes possible, and also Seaman makes possible. So that I thought we shored things up, and we looked more potent going forward. In the second half, Zakawani's finish was fabulous. He really sold Berhalter with the dummy. Rolled it into the corner. Lundberg had a chance, didn't he? And Seaman himself had a decent shot as well. So at that point, you're thinking, oh, they might snatch something here. But in the end, the third goal was the killer.
And unfortunate, James Riley playing. Yeah. He's played 300 minutes over the last 8 days. Really kind of an unfortunate bounce for him.
It was, and as you say, he played 90 minutes last weekend, 120 minutes at PGE Park. I mean, he's super fit. I mean, I sat down with him in the production meeting before the game, and he was like, look, I've had my ice baths, I feel absolutely fine. And I think he did feel fine. It was one of those situations, and this is the penalty area in which it happened. Alan Gordon rolled the ball across this 6-yard box in front of us here, and you could almost sort of feel the hot breath of Landon Donovan on his neck behind, and he knew he had to slide in. And once you slide, you have limited control over what happens. Now, you could argue he could have hooked his foot around it and got it out, but that's a difficult thing to do. And it came off his left leg, and once it went onto his right, the momentum, his forward momentum, carried the ball over the line. So, look, I don't think you can criticise James Riley. It was an unfortunate incident. It was it was game, set, and match after that. But that's his 14th consecutive start, plus the Portland game, 120 minutes. Count me the mistakes he's made. They're rare, aren't they? Right. So Riley shouldn't feel anything other than you know, a certain satisfaction and pride in his performance. He's bound to be disappointed with that moment because it was the clinching moment, but I don't think there's an awful lot more he could have done.
A lot maybe different on Wednesday night, Sounders against the Galaxy up at Starfire, smaller field, different type of game. What do you expect to see on Wednesday night?
Well, I don't expect to see Landon Donovan, and part of me is delighted by that, but part of me is disappointed because I do like to see him play. So I wouldn't have thought we'll see Buddle tonight either. Tristan Bowen looks quite good. He's covered for Buddle very effectively whilst Buddle was at the World Cup. So he looks like a handful up front. Maybe Alan Gordon will start up front with him. From a Sounders perspective, this is squad stretching time, really, isn't it? Including tonight, 5 games over 14 days. It's going to be interesting to see how Ziggy handles Nate Jakwa on Wednesday, because the big game this week, albeit it's the defence of the US Open Cup, the big game is FC Dallas. Right. We need to get back to winning ways in MLS. We need to beat a team from the Western Conference before that gap gets too much to claw back. So it will be interesting to see how Ziggy handles the team on Wednesday, which is a depleted squad. There's no Aussie. There's no Brad Evans. Of course, there's no Hurtado. There's no Blaise Kufo yet. So the squad is stretched. So, you know, that team selection is going to be very important, because I think the main focus this week is FC Dallas next Sunday. And that is turning into a must-win game in terms of this team reaching the playoffs.
It absolutely is. And we'll be at Quest Field on Sunday. We'll be at Starfire as well on Wednesday. For Arlo White, I'm Matt Gaschk for SoundersFC.com from the Home Depot Center in Carson, California.